Hey everybody, this is it. It's election day, November 7th. This is the day everybody's been waiting for. We're going to get some questions answered. Later on, the plan is to get a live stream going. Stop by if you're interested. But this video is just going to be a quick overview of some last minute thoughts and some resources for election day. We'll start it off with this poll for Kentucky governor. It's from Data for Progress, and it shows Andy Beshear at 50%, Daniel Cameron at 48%. So that is the second poll after the Emerson one that shows an extremely narrow race. This poll also shows Beshear is getting 98% of Democrats, 44% of independents, and 20% of Republicans. So Beshear doing well, not as well as he was maybe a month or two ago. Trump won the state by well over 20 points. Cameron got to get his base to turn out. And you could take a look at the rest of the poll here. There's some crosstabs down below. This poll had 660 likely voters. The margin of error is 4 points. This is going to be a fascinating race. I would still expect Beshear to win. With the kind of popularity he's had, it would be crazy to think he could actually lose. We've seen it in other states where a political minority wins re-election for governor. We've seen it in Louisiana with John Bel Edwards, in Maryland with Larry Hogan, even Massachusetts with Charlie Baker, and Vermont with Phil Scott. Anybody that thinks one side is for sure going to win, some of those people are going to come out looking a little foolish. If we get unpredicted, it still shows Beshear with a significant lead, not as commanding as it was a week ago. These last couple of polls has spooked the market a little bit, but Beshear is still the favorite. And of course, we also have Mississippi. It would have been nice if we saw 3 or 4 more polls. Didn't really happen. I'm going to have to assume Reeves is going to end up winning, but there's also no guarantee. Now, what else is happening today? Well, let's get on Ballotpedia and talk about ballot measures. This has a great summary of everything happening in every state. There's several different types of ballot measures. It can be complicated, but this chart tries to break it down. We can see how many ballot measures there are this year compared to other years, and then we've got the topics for the ballot measures, the campaign finance for each state, so we could see where the money is being spent. We can compare that to prior years. Then we could take a look at the date of each ballot measure. Some of these already happened. Most of them are happening today. And then down below that, we've got a breakdown of each state and each ballot measure. You can click on each one of these to get significantly more detail. If you're looking for one place to get all your ballot measure resources, it's got to be right here. Now, a lot of ballot measures are not really significant. Sometimes it's just some tax code thing, but there are some other ones, some of them related to elections, and some of them, including this one right here, related to abortion. This is probably the most high-profile one. It's in Ohio. It's got a dedicated Wikipedia page. There's been some controversy over this, over the wording, and what might happen in the future if this does pass. You can look way into this if you'd like. It seems like it is going to pass. There are some polls all the way down here at the bottom, and they show close to 60% in favor of passing. Now, there's other things happening today. We know about the Virginia General Assembly election. That's going to be huge, but the same thing is happening in New Jersey. All these links will be down below in the description, but there's State House and Senate. It's up for grabs. The reason there's less focus on it is the balance of power is not expected to be in question. Democrats should be able to comfortably hold both of those. Republicans could make some gains, but it's not on the level of something like Virginia. Another big race, we've got Pennsylvania's Supreme Court. The ideology of the court is currently 4 Democrats, 2 Republicans, 1 vacancy. This election will fill that vacancy. The balance of power, not really in question, but that would set the table for a Supreme Court election down the road where Republicans could flip control. So we've got Dan McCafferty, the Democrat, Carolyn Carluccio, the Republican. They're going to go at it. It's a statewide election, and I haven't looked way into this race, but it would seem like Democrats would be able to hold on, definitely if you go by the last midterms, but there's always a chance there's a Republican surge, a depressed turnout for the Democrats, and they could pick it up. So that's another race to watch. Now there's more. We can go back to Wikipedia. We've got a special election in the U.S. House. That's Rhode Island's first. That district is not expected to be competitive. The Democrat Gabe Amo, he's expected to cruise to victory. The special election in Utah is second. I wish it was the same day, but it's not. It's November 21st. If we go down past the other statewide elections for Attorney General, Secretary of State, etc., we get down here to the local elections, and we've got some significant races for mayor happening. A couple of more notable ones to take a look at. We've got Houston mayor. That one could be headed to a runoff, and we've also got mayor of Philadelphia. It's hard to imagine a Republican coming coming close there. I know there's some issues with crime in the city. Either way, there's going to be a new mayor in Philadelphia. Now, the last thing we could do is get onto Target Smart and take a look at the early ballot returns. Now, some people are huge on this. I'm not into it at all. This doesn't show you who voted for who. It just shows you where the returns have come from. So many times the final result doesn't really pan out and reflect these early returns. So I think the utility here is low. Of course, it's not going to be completely useless. If some of the data shows a complete imbalance, that could be indicative of something happening. But we could see what's going on here in New Jersey. And comparing the last 3 cycles, looks like Democrats, they've ticked up a few points and Republicans are down a few. So maybe the Democrats are going to have a good night there. Maybe it doesn't mean anything. We'll just have to wait and see. If we switch over to Virginia, it's kind of the opposite. This time, Democrats down a couple of points and Republicans are up a couple. Maybe that's a good sign for the GOP and Glenn Youngkin there. Maybe it has no bearing on what happens on Election Day. I don't want to read too much into that at all. We'll see what happens with the results. Polls close in the eastern part of Kentucky at 6 p.m. Eastern. A lot more happening at 7. Stop by for the live stream. Let's see what happens. Hopefully we'll have a great election night. Maybe there'll be a surprise or two. Maybe not. But let me know in the comments. What are you going to be looking at most on this election day? Let me know your thoughts down below. On your way out, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to support the channel. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.